I want to start off with your chances of actually becoming the next Prime Minister. We can have a quick look, hopefully, to show people how the first round of voting went in the Commons. These are the candidates, and this is how everyone did. So you've got 27. You haven't got enough to get to the next round. You need 33, don't you?
We've had extra support coming in, so I've got a good base, and we're well placed to build some momentum. The race hasn't really started in earnest. We haven't had the debates yet. The first one this evening. We'll have more later in the week. So I'm looking forward to it, and we ought to be debating the issues, the vision. What I'm offering is a change of vision, more optimistic vision. I've probably set out more policy, from degree apprenticeships to climate change, than the other candidates. But I also think we need a generational change of leadership. I don't think the approach that got us into this mess is going to get us out of it.
So are you going to get enough MPs to get you to that 33 bar? Have you got that support?
I'm not going to give you my numbers, but we're building momentum. There'll be further names in the course of this week, and I'm quietly confident.
The problem you've got is you're fishing with in the same pool as Boris Johnson, aren't you? That's the thing. And he has got that momentum among Brexit-supporting colleagues of yours.
And he's certainly the front runner. He's the favourite. We know a little bit about the curse of the favourite in Tory party leadership contests. And I'm the underdog, but I'm going to be the underdog fighting for the underdog, whether it's the worker in the lowest paid jobs that needs a pay rise, whether it's the kid from the rough background who wants their shot in life, and whether it's the British people who feel that they've been written off in this Brexit process. So I'm relishing this campaign, and we're just getting going.
Have you been talking to Boris Johnson in the last week? Any text messages? Nothing like that?
No, I mean, we obviously bump into each other as we go to and from hustings, so I've got huge respect for him, but none of those sort of machinations which I think you were hinting at.
Okay, so if you do get knocked out, obviously I know you don't want to think about this, who do you want to be Prime Minister out of these candidates?
I'm not getting into that.
No?
No, I'm going to run my campaign with the optimism and the vision, and hopefully what we'll see this week is the competing visions and the styles of leadership that the different candidates are showing. We haven't really had a chance on stage to see all of them together, and that's what I think people will be focused on. This race has only just started, and I appreciate there's a front runner here, but I'm looking forward to this race.
Now, I want to talk to you about Brexit.
Sure.
It's perhaps the thing that you've said that has caused the most controversy is that refusing to rule out the idea of proroguing or suspending Parliament in order to push through a no-deal Brexit if Parliament tries to block it. Now, Amber Rudd described that as outrageous to me on the show today. Hilary Benn said it would be scandalous.
Yes.
It would be anti-democratic, wouldn't it?
Oh, I don't think it's something we would want to do, and I think it's very unlikely. But what's the real scandal?
But you can't rule it out.
Well, no, and I'll tell you why. What's really scandalous about this is the way people have been trying to sabotage the will of the people and break their promises left, right and centre to get us out of the EU. But the reason I don't rule things out is I've got experience of negotiating. 6 years in the Foreign Office as an international negotiator, my time as Brexit Secretary. The big mistake we made in these negotiations was taking no deal off the table. And when we start ruling things out, we only weaken our chances of getting a deal. I've set out my plan for a deal. The other candidates haven't set out a credible plan. But it undermines...
Well, they have set out their plans, haven't they?
Yes, but they...
Whether or not... I mean, you wouldn't...
Well, Boris, I'm not quite clear what Boris's plan is, but in fairness, I'll let him set that out in more detail. But what I'm saying is the others have wavered or havered on the question of whether we'd leave with no deal, whether they're flirting with another extension. All of that just reduces our chances of getting the deal that we'll want.
Are you really saying that you would go to the Queen and ask her to prorogue Parliament, dragging her into politics in a way that she's avoided for 70 years?
I won't be dragging anyone anywhere. But I think the signal that we send to the EU is crucially important. And we frankly made too many mistakes stumbling in these negotiations by ruling things out. What I want the EU to know, and I want the people of this country to know, is first of all, we'll keep our promises. And secondly, the EU to know that we're serious about leaving the EU. All those candidates that are going weak at the knees and saying, well, I'm not sure about this and that, they're sending a message to the EU that frankly they can take us for a ride. We've had 3 years of that. It's time to get this done.
I thought Brexit was all about the sovereignty of Parliament, and you're saying you just overrule Parliament.
It's an interesting point. Normally, when the government is in a clash with Parliament, it is Parliament sticking up for the people. But this time, Parliament gave the decision to the British people, and now it wants to...
Hang on, I just want to stop you there, because we don't know. We don't know if people voted for a no-deal Brexit, do they? It's not necessarily a mandate for no deal.
What happens is we give the people... in this... We gave the people the decision. Now Parliament is trying to steal it back away from them. And I think that's a fraud. In terms of what the referendum campaign decided, it was very clear we're leaving the EU. Now, we made the case that actually we'd want to leave with a deal, but plenty of questions were asked about what if you couldn't get that deal and what the outcome would be. So when people voted, they voted to leave. We haven't left yet, and that's why we're seeing not just the uncertainty for the economy and the damage it's doing to businesses, many of whom come to me and say, we just want to know what you're doing, but also this corrosion of public trust. And it is the Tory party will be toast unless we're out by the end of October.
The Tory party will be toast.
Yeah, I think people need to wake up to this. We've seen from the Peterborough by-election, we've seen from the European elections, not just the frustration, the outrage. You referred to scandal, the scandal that people feel that we haven't kept our promises on Brexit.
What, you think it could be the end of the Conservative Party? Is that what you're saying?
I certainly think the Conservatives cannot win an election unless we've delivered Brexit.